Assalamualaikum guys. Today's video I'm just going to make a little bit, I just wanted to give a little bit of information on, or maybe guide those who are new Muslims. Maybe you're not new Muslims but you're finding things hard, maybe you're struggling a little bit with the the general things in Islam. I just thought I'd share some difficulties that I struggled with when I first reverted to Islam, such as the salah and everything. I know when you first revert to Islam it's a lot to take in, and you might not necessarily know everything, and I know nobody's expected to know everything as soon as they revert to Islam. The things I struggled with, I think the most, there's a few actually. I don't want to say that I didn't struggle because that would be lying. I definitely struggled with the 5 daily salah, 5 daily prayers, especially with the Fajr prayer and the Isha prayer, because at the time when I took my Shahada and I first became a Muslim, it was the days, they were really long, so you had to get up super early in the morning, and you had to do your salah super late at night, 10 o'clock I'm talking at night, and 2, 3 o'clock I think it is in the morning or something like that. And I definitely struggled with those. It took me a while to get used to them, especially the Fajr prayer. I like my sleep. I think we all have to admit it. At one point or in our life, we like our sleep, and we don't like to get out of bed. So I used to struggle a little bit with that, but you just have to keep persevering it. And if you're finding it hard, maybe there's a routine you could try and get yourself into. I got into the routine of doing my Quran as soon as I've done my Fajr prayer, and I think it helps. It definitely benefits you for the rest of the day. I really find it useful to do that, and I set myself a goal, and before I go to bed every night, and I still do it now, I don't know if anybody else does, but I always say, inshaallah, I will get up for the Fajr prayer tomorrow morning, because I find it definitely works a little bit better. I'm sorry, one sec. I'm sorry, I don't know if you could hear my parents shouting in the background there. What was I saying? Yeah, I always say, inshaallah, I will get up and do the Fajr prayer. I find that really benefits me to do that. Before I go to sleep, I always do Ayatul Kursi. I mean, not all of you are expected to know this now, right now, especially if you've just reverted, or you haven't exactly been reverted for long. I think it definitely helps. Maybe if you can't recite it yourself, listen to it. You can find it on YouTube. You can download it on, any website pretty much. You can download it. You can just listen to it just to make you feel a little bit better. I find that always helps me. I mean, that is my routine to getting up on the Fajr prayer, because I was hopeless to begin with. I don't know, I just couldn't get up. I'd wake up and I just couldn't drag myself out of bed. I couldn't make myself get up and do it. The second thing I struggled with, and to a certain extent I still struggle now actually, because I don't I feel that you need a Muslim surrounding. Now I understand that a lot of you probably don't have your parents in as Muslims, and obviously that is the same for me. I am the only Muslim in my family. Now my parents, like I said in my previous video, at one point they didn't accept this, and they still don't, and all that, but I feel like if you can surround yourself with Muslims, especially if you're sisters, I feel that is one really good thing to do. Because for me, I haven't been able to, and I still haven't actually managed to make many friends. I don't know what it is. I think there's just not a lot of Muslim sisters my age or in my area. I mean, I know a lot of them are, but a lot of them are at university and everything, and I'm not, and it's difficult to make make good, but a lot of them aren't English, and I'm still struggling, and I feel if you don't have that backup, I have, alhamdulillah, I've got one really good friend, and she's originally from Pakistan, but she's older than me, but alhamdulillah, I went to the mosque not long after I first came to Islam. I think it was maybe a few months. I'd always been a little bit scared, because it's only it's not far from where I live and everything. It's not far from where I work. So one day I decided I would go ahead and go down there. And I won't tell you exactly what happened when I got down there, but let's just say I got a little bit scared. No, go on, I will tell you. Okay, so like I said in my first or second video, I said about how I'd always been quite a shy person, and to a certain extent then I still was. So I remember going into the mosque this first day, and I went in, and there was a few more people in there at the time than I thought there would be. I was hoping that I would maybe, you know, be like the first or second person there, because I am so scared of walking into, like, you know, this room where there's everybody already in there, and then you know how you just get that feeling when you walk in through the door and everybody turns around and looks at you. I was like that. So what I noticed when I first went in there, I didn't realise there wasn't going to be any young people in there, any young Muslim sisters. So I had gone in, and then when you go into the mosque, you have to turn right, and then you've got your kitchen on the left, and then you've got the sisters' room on the right. So I was trying to go into the sisters' room, and there was a few women in there, and they were a lot older than I was, and they looked at me, and they gave me this terrible look, like, what are you doing here? Like, you know, like, are you a Muslim, sort of thing? And subhanallah, that made me feel pretty bad, and they just gave me that, you know, I don't know, you probably had the look off of somebody one time or another, but yeah, they just gave me that look. So I kind of turned around. From then I got a little bit scared, so I turned around a little, and then I went I sat into the kitchen, and I got really upset just because I think I was really frightened anyways, and I was hoping that maybe people were going to accept me. But when I went in there, that wasn't the case. Obviously they were older, they didn't know who I was, and they just sort of looked at me. They gave me that look that I've always gotten, and so yeah, I went and sat in the kitchen, and you know, I got really upset and everything. I missed the entire Jummah, the entire Friday prayer, and that was Zuhur prayer. I missed the entire prayer. Yeah, I sat in the kitchen, and then everybody else, I waited for nearly everybody else to leave before I would leave. But there's this one sister, and she found me, and she found me when she came in the kitchen, and bless her, she, alhamdulillah, she looked after me. She came down, she sat down with me, she was talking to me, and since then, you know, we've got really close, and we're really close friends, alhamdulillah. So it's nice to have her to help me. You know, she's been teaching me stuff about Islam, which is very helpful, alhamdulillah. She's a very good friend, and yeah, she is actually, to be honest, she is the only friend that I've actually made so far in Islam, and I have been a Muslim for quite a while now. But I mean, that's just Allah's will, I guess. I mean, maybe one day, inshaallah, I'll find a few friends, but yeah, I definitely think it's important. If you're like me and you're quite a shy person, I think if I give you advice now, I would say go to a mosque, try and meet with people, you know, and if they give you that look of, what are you doing here? Just go on in. Just force your way in. Just say, hey, I'm here to pray. Okay? Because running away won't get you anywhere. I find running away makes things more difficult because you don't have that support that you need. Especially being a sister, you don't have that support you need. There's a lot of things that you need to learn, you know, like about Salah, you know, and fasting and Ramadan, and also general things, you know, like not being able to pray, you know, at certain times and everything, you know, like as women and females. And you know, it's nice to have somebody there who can help you through all of this, because I had a lot of questions when I first became a Muslim. I wasn't very sure on a lot of things, and it makes things difficult if you really don't know. So definitely try to surround yourself with a lot of sisters, because it'll make things easier on you. I find Ramadan now, I know Ramadan's a few months away. Yeah, I think we've got I don't know, when's it now? February, March, April, May. You've still got 5 months until Ramadan, alhamdulillah. But I find it super difficult, the first Ramadan. Just, I think, because it was like a shock to my body. I remember working all the way through it. I worked, and I remember, I think it was the first or the second day, and I was stood in work, and I was, I think it was, we couldn't break our fast until gone 9 o'clock, I think it was, and I was stood there, and I remember just staring at the clock and feeling so dizzy and thirsty, and at that point I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this for another 28 days. But subhanallah, alhamdulillah, I did it. But I didn't complete every fast during Ramadan. I don't know, I struggled so much with it. I just couldn't complete it. It was, I mean, it's always going to be a shock to your system the first time that you do Ramadan. Or even the second one I still struggled with. I've done 2 Ramadans now, alhamdulillah. The first one did not go well at all. I did not, I think it was a shock to me, and I personally could have tried harder as well, but I definitely struggled with the thirst. I was okay with the hunger. I don't eat a lot anyway, so I didn't really get hungry, but I struggled a lot with the thirst, like a lot, and it was really hot the first Ramadan. The one just gone in August, it finished. That one was okay. It was okay because it wasn't as hot, but I still struggled with the thirst. I think you have to train yourself before. You definitely have to prepare, because that's one thing I didn't do the last 2 Ramadans. I did not prepare, and I think it always makes it harder if you don't prepare for it, because then like I say, you're shocking your system and you'll always struggle with it. Especially with the breaking the fast and the beginning of the next fast, because there is such a short amount of time. I think this year there's only going to be about 6 hours in between, so you're spending like 18 hours of your day fasting. Obviously that's a really long time, but try to prepare for it. Inshallah, I'm hoping to do a lot better this year. I'm hoping that you guys understand where I'm coming from. I want to give you this advice just as personal experience on how I struggled with it, and I feel like any advice would be useful, because then at least you can prepare yourselves for it. You know, you can try and do it. Inshallah, yeah. There's so many things, I don't know where to start, but these are just the main things I struggled with. I didn't really struggle with anything else. You know, I enjoyed reading books, and I enjoyed reading the Quran, and I enjoyed learning Arabic and stuff. But yeah, there's just a few things that I did not know, or I did not expect, you know, and it is always important to try and prepare yourself for any situation. You know, you need to prepare yourself for Salah, because obviously that is really difficult to get into the routine of doing 5 Salahs a day. And yeah, making friends, like I say, I find it difficult. I still find it difficult, but inshallah you'll be okay anyways. Yeah, the last thing I will say is the Eid, what is it, Eid al-Adha, that one, I didn't know either. I did not know. I wasn't aware that I was supposed to pay zakah. Is it zakah? Or Qurbani? I didn't know I was supposed to pay that. Subhanallah, I found out the day after I was supposed to pay it, when my boss kindly and politely said to me, "Did you know you have to pay during this Eid?" And I was like, "No, you didn't tell me. Nobody told me this." So I think my points really today are just try and learn 5 pillars of Islam first, and definitely try to implement them, because if you don't try to implement them straight away, then I think you'll always struggle a little bit. I still go back and forth sometimes, you know, I have those up and down days. Everybody gets those. But, you know, you just gotta keep smiling. And, yeah, just keep going with it. So, inshallah, if any of you guys find yourself struggling at all, my advice to you would be, just keep making dua. Just keep making dua and pray to Allah that He help you, and inshallah everything will work out the way that you want it to. Inshallah, just persevere with everything, especially if you have your up and down days, because I know that I do. You know, a lot of things are still relatively new to me, so you know, I always get those good days, bad days, but just keep smiling, just keep making dua, and don't worry if you mess up. Nobody is perfect apart from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, you know, most kind, most merciful. Always remember He is the most merciful, all-knowing and all-forgiving. So just keep trying, do your best. I mean, you can't be perfect, especially being a new Muslim. There's a lot of things that you have to learn and you don't know. So inshallah, yeah. I pray that you'll all find your way. I pray that everything goes well for you, inshallah. May Allah help us. May Allah keep us safe, inshallah. May Allah guide us straight. Inshallah, I will catch you in my next video. Sorry this one has gone on so long. If you have any questions at all, then you can inbox me, or you can comment. Feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it, or like my other videos. Subscribe to my channel, and inshallah I will catch you soon. Assalamualaikum.